And recording has started. And good morning. So good to be with you folks again and sharing what I get to share. Deborah Myers again. And as you know, I love doing what I do. And I love sharing what we can do for ourselves on a daily basis. And have you picked up the fact, I hope you have, that everything you're learning can be for self-care, right? And we're going to be doing a whole lot more today. And it can also be for your family members. Have you noticed how fun it is to teach your little kids, or to just be holding some acupressure points with your little one and notice a change take place? I mean, that's pretty cool, right? Or being able to share it with your partner. Or how about those moments in time when you are with one of your clients, and whether they are a new client or an existing client you've been working with for a long time, or at least for a while, and you notice something, whether it be holding breath or a sense of anxiety or anxiousness, a sense of ill at ease, a sense of wanting to have things be different, right? And have you noticed that literally you can pull those self-help tips out of your knowledge, your toolkit now, and share little bits and pieces that can make a difference like that? And if it can make a difference in just a few moments, maybe it would be a good idea to share the daily clean your house flow with folks and have them and their bodies experience that place of a firmer foundation. Because folks, that's what we're talking about, is helping you and your body be in that place of such ease that it recognizes it's in a state of balance and harmony. Your body on all layers and levels is an energy system. Energy wants to move. It does not like being stuck. So when we help our bodies feel that spaciousness that starts to happen and continues to happen with giving that gift to yourself, all of a sudden the whole body, the whole being, and even the sense of knowingness kicks in. And your body gives you the message, wow, you're taking care of me. And if you're taking care of me, I can more easily take care of you. This is where you get to have this beautiful conversation with yourself. Yes, I give you permission to talk to yourself. In fact, if you want to talk out loud, that's more than fine. Because that's what it's about. It's being able to open up the energy in such a way, having those meridians, those channels, those rivers of energy flowing, and then along those flowing spaces to have the energy balance points be in a state of openness, thus no blocked energy. And when that's the case, your body has the ability to talk, to listen, to have dialogue, to be able to communicate with the whole entire you, so that if something goes a little bit awry, it can get your attention and say, hey, will you take care of this for me? And in such a subtle way that it's not like beaten up against a brick wall. All of a sudden, the body says, I got the message, and I'm more than okay with giving you what you need. So doing the daily clean your house flow, and I just express that as a possibility. You may have other forms of self-care that you love doing. And the beauty of what I've been showing you is that you can use this in connection with anything else you're doing. In fact, it supports it. Whether we're talking meditation, yoga practice, contemplation practice, whatever you want to call, whatever you do for yourself, energy balancing. What I'm showing you can be used in conjunction with, to support. So that's why I see lots of therapists utilize what I teach for themselves as well as with others, with their clients and with their family members. I see it being used by chiropractors, osteopaths, acupuncturists, physical therapists, massage therapists, folks of all healthcare realms can make use of this in conjunction with what they're already doing. If that's the case, I just want to remind you to be open to the possibilities of everything we've been talking about and will continue to talk about as being an option for you as your own body, and as a resource, if you will, for others in your world. Because when you're in that place, you truly are becoming a partner with your own body and with others. So I just wanted to remind you of all that. So I'm not going to spend time doing the daily clean your house flow today, because I want to talk about other possibilities for you. But do know that as we progress through our time together this morning, I may pull out a couple of those steps that are in the daily flow as a go-to self-help. Now, if you want me to walk you through the daily flow at some point as a reminder, we can do that. So if you do want that, put that in the chat, please. And if you want any other questions answered, please put that in the chat. Rainey is helping me out with that. And if you just have a thought, like the what if, or, hey, I just realized, please put that in the chat. And you can also, if it makes you feel more comfortable, you don't want it to go to everyone, might I suggest that you could go to chat and click on Rania's name, Rania, and she will manipulate the chat for me and let me know if something's cropped up. Okay. Sound good? Because if I try to do it, who knows what might take place. My brain might go too many different places at the same time, which has happened, and it will, because we all have brains like that. So one of the things I was talking about a few minutes ago before we got started was the whole idea of rebooting. Have you ever had to reboot your computer, like Rania just did a few minutes ago, because her camera wasn't working? And that's all it took, was to turn off her computer and start it back up. She tried to get out of Zoom and back in several times, didn't work. So that was the next step. Sometimes we have to do that with our computers or our other devices in order to give them the space to find a foundation. Guess what? That's what we're doing with these bodies you walk around in. When you do your energy balancing, it's like rebooting, helping all those energy balance points let go to find the space. So those rivers of energy can flow with easy current, good flow, good juice. And in that realm, all those energy balance points that could be potentially become energy balance blocked beaver dams have less and less of a tendency to do so. Think about it that way. Less and less of a tendency for the body that you walk around in to give you pushback and create blocked energy. Because when the body is experiencing the flow of energy, that's what it wants more than anything. And that's what it wants more than anything. That's what it will copy. So when we reboot, we're literally creating a foundation, a flow pattern that then the body says, that's what I want. That's what I want to keep. But every once in a while, it needs that reminder. And that's what energy balancing, in my opinion, on a daily basis is all about. Giving your body the attention it deserves and it desires so that it can bring to you what you desire. A balanced, harmonious, healthy, comfortable, very happy body. So we happen to be in a season called autumn. It is here. Would you agree? And I was talking earlier with Ronnie that it was 42 degrees this morning here. Whoa. And a couple nights ago, I don't know if you've been experiencing the wind. I'm up in Sonoma County, north of San Francisco, and we have been dealing with wind. And a couple nights ago, I thought the house was going to blow off the mountainside. It was blowing so hard that when I went out the next morning, I could not believe the mounds of leaves. And I also recognized how much all of a sudden it was drier than it had been before. Have you been noticing that? We're going to talk about that today, because what our bodies don't want is dryness. Guess what? They also don't want too much liquid, too much lubrication, too much wet. The body is that piece, if you will, that space that wants neutrality. It does not like extremes. It does not want one extreme over another. Not too dry, not too wet, not too cold, not too hot, not too soft, not too firm. Like when we're talking like muscle, right? Not too hard, not too soft. We can also then talk about even in the intestinal world, okay? Not too much one way or the other. We want neutrality. That's what your body wants. And it will search for neutral. And right now, our bodies are searching for neutrality in this thing called season change. It wants a space of easy lubrication so it doesn't have to be dry. But have you noticed that sometimes when it gets too dry and then all of a sudden your body wants to wetten things up, you get too much and then you get drippage? You notice that? And that's the sinus congestion trying to figure out a way to let go. So we're going to talk about that in relation to not only sinuses, but also mind, clarity, and focus. Because guess what? It's all one and the same. Energetically, we address it the same way. Remember last time I talked about how it's all about the letting go? And so digestion and letting go of old patterns is one and the same. We do the same. We can do the same energy movements to help our bodies shift through whatever's happening to get to a place of balance. So it is in a more comfortable place to take care of you. And that's what it wants. It wants to take care of you. So I bring us to that place of weather change, season change, because that is one of the time periods our bodies potentially can go into reaction. It's better if they don't, but they will if they're trying to figure out that neutral place. So one of the pieces I want to share with you today is how we can help this stuff that's up here, if it's considered sinus congestion. At the same time, we can be helping with clarity and focus. And in that realm, we can even help our bodies be proactive and not be reactive to something like wind, dryness, anxiety, stress, discomfort, inflammation. All of that is sort of like one and the same for you and your body. The body doesn't know the difference between inflammation and a holding pattern. It doesn't know the difference between how to let go of one versus the other because it looks at it as all one and the same. It's on the same spectrum, if you will. Okay, so we're just going to help it rediscover how easy and effortless it can make the changes take place. So on page 4 of your handout, it's all about relieving head pressure. Have you noticed that, by the way, someone needs to mute? I don't know who it is. Have you noticed that if you get clogged up in your head, you've got too much to think about, too much scramble, and all of a sudden it's hard to think about much of anything because it's so scrambled? Have you ever noticed that? Well, guess what? Your body notices it too. And when it feels tightness up here, it starts copying that tightness. And that's where we start getting clenched teeth, clenched jaw, ear pressure, base of skull tightness, head tightness, like the skull is too tight on the head, and maybe you even get headaches. I have a question for you. So I have a sense of how many might have this project. Remember, I call things projects instead of problems because projects are more fun to work with and have a beginning and an end. How many of you get head pressure, headaches? Is it head tension? Is it migraines? Or is it something in between? If you want to put that in chat and just let me know. I'm going to address it in the meantime as if it's part of some of your lives, because chances are it is, especially when we have a lot on our plate. And I know many of you have a lot on your plate. And if you have a lot on your plate, sometimes there's so many lists, and you have to check it off, check it off, check it off. And if you don't check it off, oh my God, you have to go backwards and figure out what you missed. Has that ever happened to you? Okay. Head heaviness, tension, headaches, got it. All righty. So what I want to share with you on this particular flow pattern is a way, super, super easy way of clearing your head, clearing your mind, clearing the space so everything is easier, more comfortable for this body and that you walk around in. You know what else it can do? It can actually even let go of mind chatter. Any of you get mind chatter? Okay. Eye tension. Okay. So let's do this. Before we get started, take a moment to give yourself a hug. So you're holding right at the elbows or your upper arms. When you're here, you're connecting with an energy balance area that's all about breath. Connects with lungs, connects with diaphragm. And yes, it is the step one of the daily clean your house flow, remember? And it's a signal to your body that you are taking care of it and loving it, giving it compassion, nurturing it. And just a few moments of breathing in, all of a sudden your body feels the expansion of the space to receive the inhale. And if it receives that expansion of inhale, guess what? There's more to let go of. So there's the purging exhale. And that's what we want. We want the exhale to be more easily able to do its job. Let go. Because when the exhale is in that realm of really being able to assist your body of letting go, it then assists all other layers of your body of letting go. Digestive, elimination, respiratory, heart health, hormone health. All of it is all about letting go. So we have more room to receive. Have you ever noticed that if your body is caught up in a pattern of holding, it's really hard to handle what's going on around you? You find yourself getting more and more of a tendency for upset, for reaction. So give yourself a hug. And remember, last time we also talked about giving yourself a bigger hug. And you go to this backside right back here at the outside edge of the scapula. And when you're there, you're connecting with an energy balance point that's all about being complete. That which was, is, and shall be. I mentioned before that in Jin Shin Jitsu, which is an ancient form of Japanese acupressure, each energy balance point has a reason for being, a purpose, and a meaning. And when you're here, you're allowing your body to get the realization that yes, there's a blueprint, and the blueprint is open for change. It is viable. You walk around in a vibrant, vital, foundational experience. Your environment that you walk around in wants to change. So when you help your body hear, you're giving it the message that everything is possible. There are so many choices. Open up to the possibilities. That's the message you're giving your body. And then come back to giving yourself just a gentle breath to feel the space. So that gives us an indicator of where your breath is, how it is. Off and on throughout the day, it's just a good thing to do. And then the next step of the daily flow, sitting on your hands, brings it to every cell of your being, creating vitality throughout in every piece and part of you. So those two steps can give your body the message like that. Continue taking care of me. I love this. I love how you are watching and being aware and being conscious. That's what your body is telling you. Thank you. It goes into a space of gratitude. And we're going to talk more about that, by the way, because all we're doing is bringing our bodies to a place of such ease and comfort that it wants to do more for you. So it's a reciprocity practice in gratitude. How's that sound? So now let's talk about this thing called head. Forehead, top of head, back of head, base of skull, all the way into the neck and top of the shoulders. So on page 4, one of the best things you can do for yourself in an instant moment, if you're feeling any constriction, is to just gently hold your forehead. And you're connecting with 2 energy balance points, one on either side, that's connecting with intuitive knowingness. And if any of you are in a meditation practice, you might recollect that this is the third eye. And it's connecting with the consciousness that brings us to the extra world above. And it just brings in all that spaciousness to receive. And it's about clarity and focus. And then the other one is you can hold the back of the head. And this one is in the daily flow, light, gentle touch. And when you're here, you're connecting with an energy balance area that's all about consciousness, awareness, being in connection with anything you are wanting to for higher power, whatever words you put to that. It's about alignment. And it's about creating the space for flow. So another one that you can do that's really quick and easy, if you will, is cup your forehead and cup the back of your head. So now we've combined those points and bringing them into working together, intuitive knowingness and conscious awareness. And when you're there, so I'm going to mirror you with my statement. My left hand is holding my right forehead and my right hand fingers are holding my left base of skull. And again, it's all about opening up to the possibilities. This, by the way, we're going to talk more about this in a bit, is also about hearing. Access your listening powers and access the ability to create a space where ears as a physical space are more open and available to you. So even if you are someone who has ear type or hearing projects, this can help, okay? In fact, when you're at the base of the skull, if you bring your fingertips more towards right behind the ears, it really accesses the inner ear, okay? And again, we're going to talk more about that as we go. So now, when we think about tension, head heaviness, constriction, yes, it can be about too much on the plate, too much to think about, too many lists to take care of, too many people to take care of, too much stuff. But guess what? We all live in a world that has oftentimes too much. So the trick is to help your body recognize that if it's important enough for you to have it in your state of mind, mindfulness, then it's important to take care of. So I'm not discounting anything you're thinking about. In my opinion, it's not so much mind chatter as it is, let's take care of it and put it in its rightful place. Because if you're thinking about it, it's important to you. And if you're thinking about it, then it needs to be watched. So what I see is that this area of your head, your mind, your brain is like multiple filing cabinets. And you can actually access this area in such a way, doing these energy tips that I'm showing you, where you can move that piece of information into a category and see it go into a filing cabinet that's an open drawer. Never close it. And yes, you can categorize it into file folders if you want to, if that makes it easier for this space that you call your thinking brain. And just know that anytime you have something that is, okay, I got to take care of that, whether you write it down or you think it, when you think it, it will go into the space where you can then more adequately and efficiently access the information. Okay? Because again, if it's important, then you need to take care of it. And if you're thinking about it, it's important. Because if you're thinking about it, if it's something that's you need to take care of, I know I keep repeating myself, then don't discount it. Be with it. Okay. We'll talk about that, Jacqueline. That's beautiful. Thank you for your insight. Okay, so the one that I love to do, in fact, I just did this with a client this morning before I got online with you folks, and she's having major sinus congestion and ear pressure, and she's traveling tomorrow. She needs to go to a conference. So she needs to have these ears open, right? So what I'm going to show you works on that realm, literally constriction, congestion, as well as letting go and making room for anything having to do with thinking. Letting go of confusion, creating room for available options. Letting go of mental congestion, creating space for ease and comfort. If, by the way, we'll even let go of, are you ready for this? Any of you deal with procrastination? Any of you deal with procrastination? Oh, yeah. This will also help with tired eyes, sore eyes, dry eyes. So for right side, it works for both, but I'm going to do, again, mirroring you. We're going to have the left hand sit at the left side of the neck right here. And imagine that there is a line separating right and left side of the body, right through the tip of your nose. Start with your right hand at the top of the head on the right side of the center line. And I hope you're doing this with me. And I hope that if something has been going on, that you notice some changes take place. Light, gentle touch, folks. And if your arms get tired, you just let them go, shake them out a little bit and come back. Body does not mind an interruption. It knows intention. And then with your fingertips, move them closer to the forehead, but still into the hairline. Again, on that right side of the center line. There. We're getting into the region of sinus cavities. The high sinus cavities. We're getting into the region of brain action. And then come to the forehead. So your fingertips are on the right side of that center line. And again, remember that this energy balance area in the forehead is all about intuitive knowingness. There you go. Beautiful. Do you notice it can be light, gentle touch? And if you press firm, you may feel like, oh, that's too much. Just bring your fingertips off gently, come back on, and notice how quickly your body responds. I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. And then bring your fingertips into this inner part of the eyebrow, up against the bridge of the nose. And if you happen to be someone who's getting some sinus congestion, whether it be from allergies, dryness, whether it be from wind blowing around, if you are someone who is susceptible to smoke and you've been somewhere where there's smoke in the air, this can help your body release it. Release the holding of it. And then, oh, I want to add something extra. It's not in your notes, but easily made available. Bring this hand now over to the temple, because a few of you are having some dry eyes, so this will help with dry eyes. And it's also going to help with anything going on around ears, ear tightness, ear pressure. Light, gentle touch. It's everything we're doing is also going to help let go of any jaw tightness. And then bring your fingertips to here. So I like putting my ring finger in the notch between my nose and my cheekbone. And then my other fingertips gently follow the curve of the cheek. You may find that you actually even like to put your little finger in there, right in that notch, and then spread. And if you do that, you may find that the index finger then can more easily go all the way towards the ear. Again, there's no right, so there's no wrong. Give to your body what it's searching to receive. And then bring that hand to just below your collarbone. So it's right in that notch, right there. Remember, we found this last time where if you brought your fingertips all the way underneath the collarbone, there's a triangular space where the first rib and collarbone come together. So go right there. Now, if you feel a tightness around there, kind of a sensitivity, it could very well be because of the tightness of these muscles. So everything we're doing, by the way, also helps relieve neck tightness. It's helping with face tightness, neck tightness, helping let go of any eye project, ear project, sinus congestion, and at the same time, open up clarity and focus so you can have clear thinking. Wow, it covers all of that. Now, you only have to do one side for it to work. But just like this client this morning, we got her ear to release. It was her left ear that was all constricted and her right sinus, and that took care of it. So we went and did the other side. So let's go ahead and do it. So your body has this full balance of receiving. Bring again your right hand to the right side of your neck. And if you have one side of the neck more than the other that has a tendency to be tight, this is a good one to do for that as well, in conjunction with a few things we did last time. And we'll repeat that later. So now bring this hand to the top of your head. So now the left hand is at the left side of the head along the left center line. And then bring your fingertips closer to the hairline, but still into the forehead. And notice how it doesn't take much time. A breath, a couple good breaths. If you have major constriction, congestion going on, you may want to do it longer. And then come to the forehead. And what a lot of people find is if they have major constriction, and say on the left side, left sinuses, for instance, they'll do the left side, go and do the right side, come back and notice this huge change that took place. And then doing the left side again literally helps the body get that new pattern ingrained, a part of you. And then inside the eyebrow. Beautiful. And if you're someone who's getting some eye tightness, eye strain, eye tiredness, you could go into here. This would also help with, again, Any ear project going on? Whether that's ear pressure, ear constriction, not being able to hear well, and then underneath the cheekbone. You know what else happens with ears? If there is a tendency to have ear tightness ongoing, it becomes chronic, it has a tendency then to affect state of equilibrium. So we want the ears to always be available for balance, for harmony, for being able to easily track. There you go, beautiful. And then come underneath the collarbone. So for those of you, if you have a tendency or have been noticing constriction through here for any reason, I hope right now you've discovered how easily you can get on the other side of it and help your body repattern. That's what all this is about, is repatterning, reprogramming, giving your body a new habit, a new way of being, which is really an old way. It's reminding it. So one of the pieces that is not in your notes, but I decided right now that I want to throw it in and talk about it, because this is going hand in hand with what we talked about last time with digestion, because that was a big one for a lot of folks, is wanting to improve digestion. And you know what else? When we improve our physical digestion, we improve the body's ability to more easily receive information and chew on it, chew on those words, taste it, swallow it, move it through, process it. All of that is available. Think about that. All of that is available when the body is in that state of ease, of comfort. Okay, so now that we have this in place, just feel how easy and effortless the body has received that openness all through the cheekbones and even into the throat. So one I want to share with you now is about not just digestion, but it's going to ease up tightness through here, even more so. So I have a question for you. How many of you have a tendency to clench or get tight jaw or feel how tight it gets down into here, into the neck muscle? What we're going to do right now helps with that, as well as helps the body digest easily. Let's go of sinus congestion, of throat tightness, jaw tightness. And all I want you to do is bring your right hand over to your left cheek like so, and hold your left hand below your left collarbone, right there in the chest. And breathe. Beautiful. And what this does, here's a good one, helps the body let go of confusion. Have you ever noticed that if there's a lot on your plate, it's really tricky to hear more, to take care of more stuff? So this helps your body process so it can more easily move things through. And now bring that left hand to the right rib cage. So you're right there, right at that short rib area. And when you're there in connection with here, you're helping your body totally get it, that it's about clarity and focus. When it's in a state of clarity and focus, you are more open to the possibilities, to the options that come your way. When we have options, we get to look at choices, right? Have you noticed that with your clients? That sometimes they just can't figure out what to do? Yeah. Maybe because there's either too many options, or maybe, it's one of those, I only have a few things I can choose from, enough. I don't know which one is going to be the better. This creates ability to process. And lets go of any tightness that creates that, or even piggybacks on it, makes it more so. There you go. And now bring that left hand to your left mid-back while you're still on the jawline here. And breathe it through. So, Jacqueline, so you said that sometimes there's an unpleasant energy in your head. And I appreciate that you said it's not your normal light head. It's because of the heaviness of the experience that just took place. This will help that. And that's why I brought this up. And one of the other pieces that can take place, and by the way, now your left hand is going to cross over to your upper right inner thigh, right there. There you go. This, by the way, is the stomach flow of energy. And I will send you a copy of this when I send the recording, a printed copy, so you don't have to make notes about it. And now that, by the way, where your hand is at the inner thigh, is all about helping your body let go of accumulation. Okay? Let go of any tendency to collect and accumulate. The body needs to filter everything. Everything within you is about filtration. Every organ, or darn near everyone, every energy balance point, it's about filter. The trick is to help your body let go, not collect, not accumulate. Okay? And now bring that left hand to right here. So I'm cupping my knee right below it, right below the kneecap, with the fingertips on the outside, right there. So there's kind of a divot right there. Do you feel how your fingertips just naturally slide into that space? There. That one is all about processing. It's about rhythm, strength, and peace. Every energy balance point has a purpose, a reason for being, a meaning, and it wants that purpose to be fulfilled. So when you are putting your fingertips here consistently, this one's about clarity, about focus, and guess what? Letting go of old stuff, because that's what this is all about. So you put that in place of processing and digestion right here, and then bring it all the way over to let go. And all of a sudden your body says, I have the message and I know exactly what I need to do. And that's the stomach flow of energy. When you receive the notes, it will be called the anterior flow. So it's the front movement of the body. The reason I bring that up is in response to Jacqueline, but in response also to that whole piece of letting go of tension. Have you ever noticed that there's times where you know that someone you're going to see gives you a tendency to go into reaction, whether it's a client, whether it's a family member, and let's face it, we're going into the holidays. So we need to be aware of what's going on in our world when we think about what are our plans, what's it going to be like this year, how are we going to do things differently. I bring this up because if there's someone in your life from whatever realm, and you notice that you have a tendency to be reactive, and you don't really notice it until after the fact, guess what? You can start being proactive. And this is the flow pattern that I just taught you that helps your body be in a state of letting go of propensities. So then it has less and less of a chance to go into a state of confusion. If it won't go into a state of confusion, guess what? There's less and less of a tendency to go into anxiousness, into distress, into reaction. The body then just says, hey, I got this. I'm taking care of you. I know exactly what we need to do. Yes, Rania.
We had someone in the comments ask, they're noticing cold fingertips and toes, and if you have anything for alleviating.
Okay. Ask the question well, let's ask the question. Is that consistently or at certain times of the year or happening just now for some reason? That will help me answer your question. Okay. So let's see if we get a response back on that. So one of the other reasons I wanted to show you that last flow pattern, I decided this is what we're doing, was because of what Ronnie has said earlier. That, because I asked her, what are you hearing from folks? What are people wanting? What are they needing? And what came up was the feeling of needing to keep up, the feeling of being ready to jump into whatever is next, whether it's jump into sessions, jump in with a new client, jump in with being with family, jump in, be ready, be proactive. That's what this one was all about. Proactively discovering what we can do. And that's what all this stuff is that I'm teaching you and showing you, is how we can address the needs of our body. So keying into that thing called resilience, so that they are resilient and available to be there for you at any moment in time. So just so you know, by the way, closer to the holidays, right before Thanksgiving, I'll be teaching a workshop that is specifically about emotions, recognizing feelings and being prepared for the holidays, and thus to expand the possibilities of stronger, more vital relationships. Okay. And we'll be addressing some of that next time, but I also wanted to, that we meet, all of us meet. And I just wanted to say that because you may very well be discovering that there's more you want to learn. Okay. So the message was, okay, so when you are noticing that your fingertips and maybe even your toes are feeling a coolness, especially when you are touching energy balance points, those energy balance points are asking for attention to have flowing movement. Because a body that's in a state of balance and harmony has neutrality. Not too hot, not too cold. Not too dry, not too wet. So if there is a reaction underneath your fingertips, your body may very well be just asking for some extra attention. So one of the best things you can do for yourself, and this works for anybody, is there's an energy balance point, and we talked about this before, at the outside of your knees or palming your calves. And remember when we did the daily clean your house flow, it was palming your calves, right? And what that looks like, if some of you need the memory of it, is like this. See if I can do this for you. There, like so. Palming your calves, right on right, left on left, or just simply holding the outside of your knees, like so. However you decide to access that energy balance area, when it's in a state of balance and harmony, it brings a message to the body of rhythm, strength, and peace. It's a temperature controller. It will warm you up or cool you down. It will also help with letting go of collection, meaning retention, meaning inflammation. So anytime you want to repattern something, hold the outside of your knees. So if you are noticing extra coolness, just off and on throughout the day, hold your knees. And then I suggest doing the energy flow pattern again and see if you have changed, if your body has noticed the change. So it doesn't go into that kind of reaction. I hope that made sense. So one of the pieces I want to also talk about and address is the fact that I mentioned at the very beginning, dryness. This is a season of the year, a time period where our bodies have a natural tendency to start drying. If you live in an area where there is coolness, you may have started needing to warm up the house, or maybe you will at some point, even for those of you in the southern part. And if your body is living in that kind of environment, it starts experiencing fluctuation. And maybe you even notice this in the heat of the summer where you go in and out of air conditioning, right? Like too much air conditioning, all of a sudden the body gets really too cold and then it can't figure out how to warm up. Same thing happens with season change. When the change of season is taking place, the body can go into a state of confusion. So we want to help our bodies let go of any tendency to be confused, and find that place of calm, of ease, so it's more available without reaction. One of the best things you can do for yourself, besides holding the outside of your knees, is making sure you get good fluids into you. Now, I would imagine you're all pretty good water intake, okay? But are you getting enough electrolytes so that your body is receiving the fluid and making use of it? If you're finding, especially during dry times or season change or whatever the case may be, you're noticing that your skin is drier, that you're more dry throat, parched feeling, maybe even dry ears, dry sinuses, that it's harder to swallow, not quite as much saliva being created. It could very well be not the fact that you're not drinking enough water, it's that you're not getting electrolytes into the water, into your system. There's ways to do that. Most folks find that they're a little short on sodium, to tell you the truth, because so many of us have cut out salt out of our diets, but the body needs sodium, potassium, magnesium. It needs all of those. Those are just three of the major electrolytes, the three main minerals. And so the trick is to find something that works for you, to bring your body to a place of evenness, because when it's receiving the fluid and bringing it to every cell of your being and lubricating the cell walls, then your body is more easily able to make use of what you're bringing to it as a fluid. All right. So make sure, please, you're doing that for yourself. You will find that it will actually help your body not be so dry, even through the sinus cavities. So last time we also did maybe it was the first time, I showed you a very simple immune system booster. And I want to remind you of this because it assists your body to more easily receive what you're bringing to it, whether it's food for nutrient or fluid for lubrication. And remember how we went to the top inside corners of the shoulder blades? And if you go right there, and right now you may be discovering that if your neck was tight, it's already released and letting go, which is awesome. And so I find it easier if I bring my elbows up to the sky a bit so that my hands can just float into that space between the shoulder blades and the spinal column. Just hold that for a few moments. That, by the way, is an energy balance point that is connected to the immune system. It is in Jin Shin the doorway to access energy of prevention of issues, problems, projects, and accesses understanding. And now bring the left hand to the left chest, just below the collarbone. That brings the energy into your very being and disperses it to the whole cell structure, fascia structure, tissue structure, everything, muscle, ligament, tendon, you name it, all the organs, all the energy balance points, and then switch to do the other side. This one off and on throughout the day is a prime way to remind your body to be resilient. It kicks in the immune, endocrine, adrenal, and lymphatic systems. Okay, now bring your hands to the outside of your thighs or outside of your knees. And when you go there, it brings that movement, brings what we just did into that place of rhythm. So your body accepts it as, this is what I want, this is what I need to receive the energy flow. There you go. There you go. Beautiful. And breathe. Are you noticing, by the way, how much your breath has changed? In fact, come to here again, which is where we started. And breathe. And notice how much more space you have for the inhale. We're not done yet. We've already opened up so much space that the body has that viability to have vitality. It wants that more than anything. So it can step into the destiny you desire and that it desires for you. With that in mind, it's really important to be walking and living in an environment that is calm, right? So one of the best ways to feel calm and be calm, and this really also helps with head heaviness, helps with letting go of tightness in neck and shoulders, helps let go of out of ease, wanting you and your body to work together in a state of compatible collaboration. Because let's face it, yes, I call this your house, but let's make it a playground. So there's no work. It's recognizing that each piece and part of you knows its job. It knows what it needs to do to have this whole system be a well-functioning, well-oiled, well-structured way of taking care of you. It wants that, it knows it. It's to give a message back to it that you know it. So it's keen into immune, endocrine, adrenal, lymphatic, and nervous systems to have everything working together in a collaborative state of affairs. So now bring your hands back to the base of your skull, right there. And feel that spaciousness that you have. Have you noticed now that when your fingertips sit in that space very gently, that your fingertips are now just falling into the space? It's like you have melted the tissue like butter beneath your fingertips. And as you do this more and more, I think you will discover that even your tissues, your fascia, the muscle, the ligament, everything is almost like getting softer. Not that it's getting less strong, it's just getting more palpable, more available. Because when it's not firm, when it's not tight, when it's not constricted, the energy can flow easier. And that's what this is all about. Now bring your left hand to the outside of your wrist, right here. And that calms the entire nervous system. If it will calm the entire nervous system, imagine how it can calm a mind, a nervous mind, mind chatter. How about nerve endings? And then come to do the other side, because why not? This works so well, it can even, now, just telling you, it's not maybe the answer for everything, but even it can even help with neuropathy. Not that it will get rid of it, but it may help the body start repatterning that tendency. Neuropathy is simply inflammation of around the nerve endings. So when you're here and you're here, you're accessing the body's ability to know that quality can change. So this is really powerful to have for anyone. And then release and maybe bring your hands to the outside of your knees again. It's very, very powerful for anyone who is walking around in a body that has a tendency for inflammation. This will ease it up. Okay. One of the other pieces I talked about is the tendency to break the tendency to have accumulation take place. We do this in the daily flow. There's a spot a little bit higher than the up top inside corner of the shoulder blades. It's more like where the neck and shoulder come together right there. So hold there. And the one we do in the daily flow is we cup here and sit on the hand, right? When you are here at this space where the neck and the shoulder come together, in Jin Shin Jitsu, it is the garbage collector. No, it would prefer not being. It would prefer always being empty, never being clogged up, definitely not be in a state of collecting and accumulating. Instead of it being a garbage can collector, let's see it as a constantly emptying, non-noisy garbage disposal, okay? Let's see it that way. And then come over and do the other side. When you are in that location, we can really, really help this body feel the spaciousness of letting go to such an extent that if you have tight back area, this was actually sent to me in an email a few days ago where someone was asking, in your group was asking about tight constricted back, low back, mid back. Doing this off and on throughout the day can really assist the body in the letting go and creating space, all the way from the top of the head, back of the head, all the way down the back, through the sacrum, through the hips, all the way into the legs, and off and on throughout the day. Now, remember that before we do that in the daily flow, we also can sit on our hands, right? So I might have mentioned, in fact, I'm probably pretty sure I did, that one of my favorite things to do in front of the computer, taking a hike, working out in the garden, collecting all the leaves that came down, is to off and on just hold my sit bones, whether I'm sitting or standing. It helps with lumbar curve. Have you discovered that yet? That off and on throughout the day of just holding your sit bones creates a beautiful lumbar curve, and thus it is helping with posture, with alignment, with elongation of muscle, ligament, tendon, skeletal system, creating space. And it creates, as it elongates the whole back body, it's elongating the front body, and it's allowing you to have space to bring your shoulder blades down the back so they can literally start floating. They're supposed to be movement. They're supposed to be able to float on top of those ribs so that you can make use of that area, the muscles here, so it's not going into here. That's the key. We want every piece of part of you working together in collaboration, so one area or the other isn't trying to do it all and creating pushback and back talk. We want the body to experience that space of such ease, calm, and comfort that there's less and less reaction, less and less propensity for old projects to show themselves or old projects to come back. We don't need to have them come back, right? We don't want them to come back. Would you agree? We want the propensities, the old stuff, to just be a memory that starts being a lost memory. Because what the body wants to do better than anything else is be in a state of balance, of movement, the energy shifting and creating space for possibilities. Because rivers of energy that are in flow create more flow. And in that arena, those energy balance points aren't going to become beaver dams. And if they're not creating beaver dams, they're not accumulating blocked energy. And all of a sudden, we have less and less holding patterns and less constriction and less inflammation, and you name it, it just keeps revolving right like that. So everything I've been showing you is about being proactive, taking care of your body in such a strong, strong way. And hopefully, I'm just hoping you discover that it's an easy, effortless way to bring to your body a state of calm, a state of readiness, being ready for whatever you're going to ask your body to do, physically, mentally, or emotionally, spiritually, and helping your body be better prepared for whatever might come at it. We don't plan on stress. We live in a world. We don't plan on accidents and injuries and stuff. We don't plan on ailments and illnesses. We don't plan on allergies unless you're used to, then we can be proactive and we can plan on it, right? We get our bodies prepared so that there is less and less reaction. The key is that no matter what, when we prepare, we help our bodies be ready. So it doesn't have to go into reaction. Am I being someone looking for the bad? No. I think what we're doing is helping our bodies be resilient, be available for whatever you want them to do, be more available for everything you want them to be. So a big one around that is to be in a state where your bodies are more available to emotions, to experience of feelings, to experience of joy. We're really going to delve into that one next time. Because when we're in that place, we really increase the possibilities of stronger, more vital, more available relationships. And when that's the key, holy moly's, there's no separateness. There's no stopping you. One of the other pieces I want to make sure we talk about today before we let go is letting go of efforting, letting go of keeping up, trying too hard, trying too much. Hold your little fingers. Remember the jumper cables? Get rid of worry fast. And the T is the trying tos, trying too hard, trying too much, trying to do it all. The place of efforting. It's no longer a verb when it becomes a description of how we are. We can access instead the energy of trust, trusting that all is available. So off and on throughout the day, just cupping your little fingers helps let go of the old fixing it, old trying to. It helps us be in the moment, to access the energy of availability, to create new patterns, to be in your body in a whole new way, and to be there with others in a compatible way. So we did this one, right? Where we held the shoulder and the sit bone. Add this one to it. Hold your fingertips at the groin, at the outside edge of your pubic bone right there. While you're still holding your shoulder like so. And remember, this energy balance point is all about letting go of old accumulation. And when you have your hand at your lower abdominal area where you are, you're connecting with an energy balance area that's all about safety, security, foundation. And when it's in a state of balance and harmony, it has the ability to bring joy, laughter, and happiness to your very core, to all pieces and parts of you. And then from there, bring that hand now to your sit bone. And now that brings it to the very core of your being, creating vitality throughout. helps the body feel the spaciousness, feel the elongation, feel the strength of all that is available to it. And then I love this one so much, I do both sides. Now, remember, I've said you only have to do one side for the body to get the message. But this is one time, especially if I've been sitting in front of the computer a lot, or if I've been working really hard or plan on working hard out in the garden, this is super beneficial. So again, I would hold the shoulder like right there, no wrong. So it's just right there. And your lower abdominal area. And notice, by the way, how all of a sudden your shoulder's letting go. So this one, by the way, if you have any shoulder projects, this is huge to release it. And by the way, I mentioned it last time, if any of you, and I believe it got sent in the email I sent off to a few of you folks, that if you're interested in having a consult about you in particular or someone you know, please reach out. You can go to my website, deborahmyerswellness.com, click on book a session and go down to a 30-minute consult, and it is my gift to you. So hold here and here. Just find a spot in the calendar and let's get together and we'll do a Zoom chat. And now bring that right hand to the right sit bone. There we go. And feel the spaciousness, all of the letting go here. And again, if you have been someone who gets tight neck, tight shoulders, you may be noticing, especially if you've been doing this off and on over the last couple of weeks, that you're having less and less of a tendency to get tight through here. Are you noticing that? I sure hope so. I hope you've been discovering how easy and effortless you can be a partner with your own body and make such a difference that even neck tightness, shoulder constriction, collarbone tightness through the chest, all of that can change up. And then put that in connection with this mid and low back and sacrum, and all of a sudden you have more flexible movement. You're more limber. So imagine, by the way, you do what I just showed you prior to exercise. I'm sure many of you have an exercise program. Do what I've shown you before and after your exercise, and you will discover that your body is better prepared for what you're going to ask it to do, and you're going to get more out of it and less reaction, which means the next time you do your exercise, no matter, or your movement, or your work on the garden, or vacuuming the floor, whatever the case may be, lifting the kids, whatever that might be, that your body feels like it's more available to what you're asking it to do. And have you noticed, by the way, as you do your work, that your chin is staying more level with the floor? Way too many of us spend time like this, leading with our chin. And look what happens. I'm going to exaggerate. Look what happens. All of a sudden, this gets tight and constricted all the way into here. And we create all this major holding pattern that then can evolve into tight jaw. So what I just showed you, again, helps with that. All that said, you don't have to do a whole lot of stuff to remind your body how to be in flow. I do the daily clean your house flow every morning. I might take 10 minutes. I might take longer because I love bringing affirmations into the various steps. And as I bring the affirmations, it becomes this beautiful meditation. And it doesn't have to be the same every time. So I start every day, I end every day doing it. And then off and on throughout the day, I'll be utilizing these individual steps to remind my body. Now, by the way, when I do my energy balancing, I'm not telling my body, I expect you to be stuck. Instead, be in the mindset, if you will, the conversation with your body of saying, I love you being in flow, and this is how we're going to do it together. Say it again. I love you being in flow, and this is how we're going to do it together. This is where you get to step into being the partner you've always wanted to be. And I hope that's what you are gathering from all that we share together, is how to be that partner. I said it before. The person you're going to have the longest relationship with in your whole life is yourself. So why not have that relationship be the strongest, most vital, most vibrant, most exceptional relationship you'll ever have with anyone? Because when you're there for you, you can be more available for others. And when we're in that space, anything's possible. When we're in that place, we get to really fully experience the true you, who you want to be. This is where we get to really discover how we can more easily step into the desires, manifest who we want to be. Even in those moments where we just want to be the more grounded, the more centered, the more available to our child or to your partner, or the more available as you get closer to the holidays with the extended family, or the more available when you're having a one-on-one with a client or with group. However you envision the potential of taking this thing called energy balancing into this realm you walk around in, this environment, and bringing it out into the world in a bigger, better, more available way, it will become more noticeable. And I hope you've been noticing that as well as you do your work, because that's really the wrong word, as you do your energy balancing on a daily basis. I would guess that people around you are noticing, especially when you're sharing it. So by all means, share. I get to see you another time, 2 weeks from now, and we'll be really delving into the experience of balancing in regards to relationships, and also into that space called being with your team in present time. Whoever your team is, being with your team in present time. And how about being in that place where we can more easily let go of even potential burnout? My hope and dream for you is that you who do such beautiful things and in your world and bring your services, your skills to the people you work with, we want you to be more available easily, effortlessly, calmly, productively, more available without burnout. So you are there in your whole being without taking away from you, without letting go of any part of you, because you are important. So everything we've been doing is about releasing tension, balancing emotions, bringing calm, letting go of anxiety, letting go of propensity. And next time we're going to talk about releasing accumulation of any old emotional patterns. We can even change that up. That's the power of walking around in a body that's energetically balanced, that's harmonious and ready and available for you for whatever you're up to. It has been one more time where I am in joy that I get to be with you. And if anything comes up in the next bit where you have extra pieces you want to have addressed, please let me know. Rania can let me know, or you can let me know by email, and or we'll just put it in chat next time, whatever works for you. And like I said, make sure It came through that email, and I believe, Rania, you sent it out to everybody, right? Where they can connect with me and go to deborahmyerswellness.com and click on book a session. And I will be there for you when you sign up. Okay. All righty. It has been a joy being with you.
Yes, well, thank you, Deborah.
My pleasure. Any questions from anybody before we say goodbye for the day? Just a lot of thanks. Yay. All right. Do let me know if anybody comes up with something that they want addressed. Okay. And can you stay on for a few moments as everybody says goodbye? Okay.
All right, have a good day, everyone.
All right. And I thank each and every one of you. Have a great day. Thank you, Karen. All right. So thank you. I'm going to stop the recording.